Hello, Mike Bowerman with the Nintendo Objective.
Do you have a favorite, well, not just a composition, but did you have a favorite sound design, specifically sound design part throughout Armillo that was like maybe your most memorable or your proudest achievement in the game?
Wow, I can't say that I have one. I probably have about 10. And the reason I say that is because these are 10 things I've done for the first time ever. Like when I was at EA, I would focus on specific tasks, right? So I was the sound effects and music guy, so I would do that. In this game, there's a bunch of really cool cinematic moments. There's one moment where Bola Bol is trapped, and he's inside inside Roto. Roto's captured him, and then Roto gets knocked out, and so Bola Bol smashes out of the glass. And everything slows down as he's going up in the air, and then he hits the ground, and then everything speeds up again, right? So when you see that moment in game and you see the video, you're like, oh my God, I get to design my own bullet time that I've seen in all these movies, right? It's like I kind of get to relive my childhood of seeing this effect for the first time. So that was really cool. I was really happy with how that turned out. And we can probably talk about that in some other interview, but there's a lot of pieces that went in to make that happen. Other things that I really liked, I really liked creating the rolling sounds of Armillo. We worked on recording probably like 15 different surfaces. So I recorded gravel, dirt, the siding of a house, stucco siding, and recorded tires on snow. We recorded a lot of crazy stuff that just didn't really make sense. And then we brought it back and through using a technique that's called grains, which is basically you take a sound and you chop it up into little segments. And then instead of just looping this thing like a one simple loop, you basically reshuffle all the grains all the time. So that as an end user, when you listen to it, there's never a loop point. You never realize that anything is looping. It just feels like somebody's rolling something. So we took all those sounds and then I did some crazy morphing and things to them and put them back together in ways that I didn't think would work. And like the sounds, the sound of the snow rolling, for example, is I made a really weird wheel and took it and rolled it against the side of a house, the stucco, a big piece of stucco, which is like 40 feet by 40 feet, just resonated like this big heavy thing. And then I took a bit of gravel rolling and I mixed them together, and that became the snow. Like the snow that we recorded didn't actually sound like snow for some reason. When you put it in game and you do all the interactivity and the pitch and the speed, it just didn't work. So something like that was really neat because I never got a chance to play with that stuff before. And I think it's one of those moments that, ties into your other question of how did you make the world come alive? Well, we had all those surfaces and environments to roll into, and that's part of the believability. Just like you hear footsteps on stairs or wood or water, we had rolling to do. And rolling was far more complex than doing footsteps because it's a continuous sound. Like I worked on that sound for about, honestly, 2.5 years. I was playing with different things. And in that 2.5 year mark, I finally was like, okay, none of these are working. This sounds like junk. I really need to step up my game here. So I went out with Matt Ryan and we started recording stuff. One of the things I recorded was on the top of a parking lot of a Sears building. It was this crazy parking lot that had all these walls around it. So there was no ambient noise. And at the base of these walls was this metal flashing. So we took this crazy wheel that I made, it was about this big, and it had like all these cuts in it. And we started rolling it on the flashing, right? So this flashing, we had 60 feet of flashing, and we just walked and rolled and recorded. And that became part of the metal rolling sound. So when you see Armillo rolling in all those platforms that are metal, that's part of that sound, right? So stuff like that was just really exciting for me because I just never got to do that before.
Does Armillo speak in this game? And if so, what would he sound like? Or is it just a bunch of grunts and noises and things like that?
Armillo doesn't speak, and that was really a conscious decision because we didn't want you to attach with whatever voice we put on him, people will attach to it, right? And I didn't want that. I really wanted you to focus on what you think Armillo is rather than me telling you, right? So then we realized that, okay, no, we need some grunts, we need some vocalizations, we need things that denote emotion, but not character, right? So we worked pretty hard to come up with the voices and all the grunts and stuff for Armillo. And we went out and basically scouted and hired the absolute best voiceover person we could afford. And I have to say that was me, because we couldn't really afford anyone.
I was going to say.
So
And that leads me actually to, there are a couple of videos I've watched with a narrator
yeah,
explaining what's going on.
Yeah.
Who did that awesome narrating?
that was me.
Well done. Well done.
These worlds, they're perfect. Now, let us commence our invasion. For nothing will stop us. Absolutely nothing. Except maybe this one creature. And we must stop him at all costs. His name is Armillo.
Well, I mean, you've really opened my eyes, and I'm sure this will open a lot of listeners' eyes and ears as well. Thank you for your time with this. This has been awesome. Do you have any other comments or anything that you want to say about Armillo coming out soon?
Tell your friends. Tell your friends that a really small team of basically 2.5 people and a couple of people helping us in the last 3-4 months pull this together. And when you play it, just keep in mind it's not a AAA game. It's a small team that is sort of trying to do good. So we hope you'll try it. We hope you'll like it. We hope you'll tell your friends.
Coming to the Wii U eShop. Be sure to check it out. This is Mike Bowerman from the Nintendo Objective signing out.